It seems like we are in a time when quaking is if earthquakes could ever be on a clock, it looks like we're on that clock. It just from Venezuela to Colombia to Chile to Indonesia. Now they're saying something off the Central Coast. Earthquakes. We live in what they call earthquake country. It's California, San Andreas Fault. One thing about earthquakes, scientists are doing their best to try and predict when they occur and how they strike and where and the magnitude. And they keep saying something big, but you never know. An earthquake comes, as they say, when you least expect it. And that's a lot like life. Those life quakes happen when you least expect it. Layoff notice, health notice, finance notice, kid notice, things when you least expect it, that's when things seem to quake. One thing about earthquakes, again, I'm a civil engineer by vocation, so it's not a revelation to me, hopefully not a revelation to you. Earthquakes don't create weaknesses. I know that seems kind of weird on the surface of it. Earthquakes don't create weaknesses. Earthquakes reveal weaknesses. Earthquakes reveal weaknesses, deficiencies in buildings. It reveals, we see those images of grocery stores that, obviously had they knew that an earthquake was happening, they would have taken all the glass bottles, the liquor, all of the stuff that's breakable, and moved them off the shelf and put them on the floor. But they didn't know. So all of the things that were loose when the quake came got actually displaced and knocked down. Obviously, there's a life parallel, which begs the question, when those earthquakes come, what are those things in our life that when the shaking happens, that will get knocked down? What are those things that are on the shelves, if you will, of our lives, will get knocked down? Or flip it around, what are those things that when the quake comes, they won't get knocked down? They stand firm. Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one falls short of the grace of God and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. See that no one is sexually immoral or is godless like Esau, who for a single meal sold his inheritance right as the oldest son. Afterward, as you know, when he wanted to inherit this blessing, he was rejected. Even though he sought the blessing with tears, he could not change what he had done. Just off the top, look at the text. The writer's talking about make every effort. Well, that's key right there. Make every effort. Do everything within you to live peaceably and holy. Peaceably and holy. Remember, first century, probably an urban setting, writing to Jewish converts to the way. They are under persecution. things were bad and things were getting ready to become a whole lot worse. And the writer, chapter 11, presents this roll call, this hall of faith, if you will. And now the writer is knitting it all together. Some might even argue that this 12th chapter, we have reached now the pinnacle of the whole letter. That this 12th chapter ties everything about, you thought 11 was the key chapter. Maybe it is. Many theologians think it's the 12th chapter. Because now, after making my argument, I'm giving you the application. Here's what you do. Given the set of circumstances you find yourself in, earthquake has come, more quakes are coming, and the writer says, make every effort to live in peace and with everyone to be holy. Why? Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. Let me go out on a limb. Peace and holiness is not something we stumble into. Thought I'd get a better reaction than that. That's okay. That's okay. It's just y'all a little sleepy this morning. That's all right. Peace and holiness require intentionality. You have to pursue peace. Why do you say that? Because your natural bent, my natural bent, is neither to be holy or peaceable. Give me that last, There was a time, that was the older sister Meeks. We'd have that bag of popcorn. And when we got towards the end of the bag of popcorn, I noticed her hand kept moving faster and faster. And it was laughable to me. And I said, okay, she's making sure she's getting her fair share. Being the nice guy that I am, Deacon Rita, I just stopped, or I'd slow down and give her like 2 grabs to my 1 grab. I know I got bigger hands, but that's all right. Peace and holiness requires intentionality. That's not our natural inclination. The writer is encouraging them and us today to move in that direction. Why? Because particularly in times of crisis, you need to double down on peace and holiness. When life is, troubling, when the ground starts to quake, peace and holiness are not my first instinct. My first instinct is probably to become defensive, to grab more quickly, to withdraw, to be short-tempered, to blame. It's the reason I'm in this situation, or the situation is, it's not anything I have to do. I might start keeping score. Protecting ourselves from other relationships because things are tough. I don't want to deal with your issues because I want to focus on my own. That's how we're naturally wired in sin. Doesn't mean, our pursuit of peace does not mean that, let's just be, term Pollyanna, let's just pretend like everything's okay. Everything may not be okay. Persecution is persecution. Persecution is persecution. But being in crisis will reveal how rooted we really are spiritually. I know that is not something I'm jumping up and down to embrace. But I know this for a fact, and if it's a fact for me, it's probably a good fact for you, that I will go to him more frequently and more fervently in those times of crisis. We just do. Our prayers get focused. But what is deeply rooted in us will be revealed when the pressure comes. I've shared the story I share now about the time my father with big baseball, I mean, he had hands as big as baseball mitts to me as a kid. But when he hit his hand with that hammer, when he was doing construction, I expected everything but praise God to come out of his mouth. But that's what came out of his mouth, even as he grimaced when he said it. Didn't take away the pain. I hit my hand with a hammer inadvertently. It was very painful, but what came out was praise, not blame, not cursing, not being defensive, not deflecting. It's praise God. Spiritual rootedness matters. Being in crisis will make us short-sighted. I get spiritual alligator arms. My natural inclination, Eric, is to care less about you when I'm going through. I know, Pastor, I'm talking about my natural inclination. When I'm going through, God bless you, and God bless you, and God bless you. But I'm going through. That's the danger of being in a quake and things are shaking, stuff is falling off the shelf, and we're going around trying to grab bottles before they crash. And God is like, no, I'm trying to help you, Mark. Insert your name, if you will. I'm trying to help you so as the crisis happens and the things shake, what will be revealed are the things that, you know what, that didn't fall apart. That didn't crash, that didn't break. All these other things crashed. Pursue peace. Pursue holiness. Guard your heart. Don't let bitterness take root. Don't allow temporary, the scripture calls it, these temporary afflictions to dictate permanent spiritual decisions. What's going on in your life, my life? Let me just say this. Our spiritual center is not in us. It's in Him. If you find that your spiritual universe, the center of your spiritual universe is you, your job, your kids, your 401, the earthquake is coming. It's coming. The earthquake is coming. It's coming. And if those are the things that we have, we've seen that, they even have that double sticky Velcro stuff that you can stick something on one side and stick something on the other side and you put it together and it's like, then it won't fall off the wall. Or if it won't fall off the shelf. That only works for so long. And we do that with those things that we love. We are inclined to do those things with those things we love. We put our kids in bubble wrap, so to speak. We put our relationships in bubble wrap. We withdraw from where those spaces where God has put us in intentionally. He has allowed these things to happen. Talking to somebody, me first. He's He's allowed these things to happen, not because he's mean, just some capricious, just some evil deity. It's like, no, I'm trying to shake stuff off of your shelf so you can see what's really standing. But if you've got a whole lot of stuff lined up on your shelf, you can't see me because you got a whole lot of stuff up on your shelf. So I need to shake some stuff. You have not come to a mountain that can be touched, and that is burning with fire, to darkness, gloom, and storm, to a trumpet blast, or to such a voice speaking words that those who heard it begged that no further word be spoken to them, because they could not bear what was commanded. If even an animal touches the mountain, it must be stoned to death. The sight was so terrifying that Moses said, I am trembling with fear, but you have come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem. You have come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly, to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven. You have come to God, the judge of all, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of angel. So now the writer is reminding us where we stand. And there couldn't be a bigger contrast. Sinai and Zion. Sinai and Zion. Sinai communicated, if you don't get anything else from the Exodus and Mount Sinai and the encounter with God, is if you don't get anything else. I mean, if I were Dr. Nystrom, this would be Q&A right now. The takeaway is, I'm holy, you're not. I'm God, you're not. I'm in charge, you're not. I dare you to touch the mountain. Moses, God's man, is like, whoa, no, I want nothing to do with this. So the people then and the people now create other gods. It's like, can't talk to you, I'll talk to you. Now, we have Zion. Everything that we couldn't do at Sinai, the writer is reminding the people then and the people now, everything you couldn't do, the gods you couldn't approach, the God that would seem to be altogether untouchable and unreachable, that's your God. And through Jesus the Christ, now you can come right up there, and you know what? He's not Elohim. He's Abba. He's Papa. He's Daddy. He's that teddy bear in a sense. He's still holy, still infinitely holy, still infinitely God. But how we approach him now is altogether different. So instead of trembling, the writer now invites us into his presence. Sinai said, stay away. Zion said, come, boy. Come, young lady. Sinai said, you are not part of me. Zion says, it's fellowship time. My son has done everything necessary. He is the mediator, and now we come. I mean, even look at the whole perspective, the whole assembly. You have come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly, to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven. You have come to God, the judge of all, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, to Jesus, the mediator of new covenant, and sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of angel. Our faith, it's individual, but it's corporate. Our faith, our walk, our relationship with God who is community in his essence, demands to be worshiped in community. That's why I said last week, I say now, 1 + 1 is more than 2, and it's not a number. Yes. Oh, well, I come to the garden alone. I know that song sounds good, but no, we come to the garden together. We all make that confession individually. We all make that proclamation individually, but we are being saved. We are saved and being saved, and we are being sanctified corporately. Our faith is personal, but it's not meant to be private. We belong to the people of God. I'm almost done. Let's go home. See to it that you do not refuse him who speaks. If they did not escape when they refused him who warned them on earth, how much less will we if we turn away from him who warns us from heaven? At that time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. The words once more indicate removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. God is speaking. See to it that you do not refuse him who speaks. When Gail speaks, there are times, man, it's true. Your wives, your girlfriends, whoever, men have, we're that dog on the cartoon Up. We're easily distracted. Squirrel, we're easily distracted. It just is. I'm speaking for every man. It's a fact. It is a fact. Gail could be asking me something. Are you hearing me? Yeah, I hear you. And I'm 25% hearing her. But then there are times when the Spirit of God, it's not me. It's like, okay, you need to put down the computer, the paper, whatever it is you have in your hand, whatever you're watching on TV, whatever it is, focus and listen because she's speaking. There are those times when, obviously, it should be every time when God's speaking. We should put ourselves in that posture, in that frame of mind, that spiritual frame where we're listening. But unfortunately, the times when we listen best is when the shaking is the greatest. It could be because the speakers have been knocked off the shelf. The nice Bose speakers on there, and it's like it's playing the cool tunes and everything, and life is good. Kids are great. Life is great. Job is great. Health is great. Everything's great. Music is just chilling. Got Barry White going, and it's like it's good. It's good until it's not. Oh, okay. News, people, all types of inputs into our lives that we can become confused, that can, if we're not careful, will drown out the God of the universe speaking to our souls. When I have heard God the best is when I have been crushed the most. I know. It's like, we're not inclined to listen with a full stomach, with a full bank account, things are great. Things are wonderful. It's autopilot. Are you listening to God? In the middle of all the blessings of life, somehow, at some point, we tend to stop listening to God. What am I saying? Either positively or in times of difficulty, don't allow your circumstances to speak louder than God. Don't allow circumstances, whatever they are, positive, we would consider positive or negative. Don't allow them to speak louder than God. God speaks in the middle of shaking. God spoke at Sinai, and the people were frightened. God is speaking now at Zion, and he's saying, come, touch the mountain. Come, be a part of what I have offered to you. Any number of things can shake us. And we'll ask, why is this happening? Well, why? Why? Better question to ask is, God, what are you trying to reveal in this shaking? What has been on my shelf that is being knocked down? So, to borrow the words from Johnny Nash, I can see clearly now. Sometimes the shelf is so full, so filled with stuff. Doesn't mean that just because it's shaking doesn't mean that God is destroying everything. Doesn't mean that. Oh, he's just trying to, it's going to be a Job-like experience where I'm going to end up on an ash heap, scraping boils from my skin and having a spouse that's inviting me to curse God. I'm going to lose all my children. I pray that doesn't happen to me nor you. But that's not what the author is writing on. God often, frequently, shakes things so that we can see what the shaking didn't knock down. We can see all the stuff that got knocked down, but what about the stuff that's still standing? Doesn't make shaking easy, but shaking does reveal our foundation. We've seen those pictures, those images of the earthquake, and particularly in Venezuela and Colombia, where maybe the code wasn't what it should be for the building to withstand the shaking. But again, here's an engineering fact too. There are certain earthquakes that no construction can withstand. You could build all you want, you can reinforce all you want, but if that magnitude, whatever, comes along, there's nothing that could have been done. Therefore, as a result of all of this, as we come to a conclusion, the whole point of the letter, the message to an urban church that was under persecution, that was facing difficulty, and it was getting ready to get harder. As a result of all this, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful. God just allowed everything on my shelf to be knocked down. Let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe. For our God is a consuming fire. I am done. Pursue peace and holiness. Don't let bitterness take root. And now the writer gives us this promise. Since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, in other words, you may be living in a shaking world, but you belong to an unshakable kingdom. The earth all around us is sinking sand, but it's on Christ, the solid rock, that I stand. So if that is true, and it is, if we sing that and we say we believe it, it ought to, Josh Howard, dictate how we live our life, and it ought to be different from everything else and everyone else we see. But if our lived lives looks like the guy down the street, and the comparison is, how big is your 401? Mine is this, mine is that. I grow weary of those conversations, and I grow weary of those conversations. How much money have you saved? How much have you set aside? What college are your kids going to? What house do you have? When the shaking comes, you can trust and believe. I ain't worried about a 401. I'm not. And you know what? The shaking is going to come. So the question we need to ask and answer is, has this reality really, Sister Jones, has it really permeated my life so that it is observable by him and by others? I see how you live. I see how you operate. All hell is breaking loose around the world, in the state, in this city, in our homes, in our communities. All this is going on. And you seem to have a peace and a calm that doesn't make sense. You might be that duck where the feet, above the water looks placid, but the feet are just going 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's not to fake it, it's to be it. I'm not suggesting we're that duck. Yeah, I look calm, but man, I'm sweating this out. It doesn't take away the earthquake. But what remains after the quake? Our lives must be different as a result of the relationship that we have with him.